Welcome back, pilots, to Squadrons Update. So, remember back when we kept getting told that Squadrons wouldn't be getting any more new content after its release? And then I afterwards came out and said the exact opposite with my leaks video? Well, yeah. It turns out that video aged pretty good because today Motive have come out and given us a mini roadmap of what new content we'll be getting each month. The highlights of this is, of course, yes, the long-anticipated B-Wing and TIE Defender are finally coming to Squadrons, along with, of course, let's not forget private matches and a server browser. As always, we'll be covering all of this and more in today's video. And before we get into any of that, but a quick reminder, as if you do like these type of videos, then do remember to give it a like to show your support for not only this update series, but also the content within it. With that out of the way, let's get into it. The last few weeks has seen a lot of discussion about the future of Squadrons, especially with how it will compete with other games who do have a live service and are constantly putting out fresh new content, all to entice people to keep coming back to them. And like or hate it, the truth is, that's simply the culture of modern multiplayer games these days. As I mentioned in my last video, if Squadrons does plan on staying relevant, keeping a healthy player base and a good future ahead of itself, then it would need to adopt this way of thinking. And fortunately, I'm happy to say it has. In a recent pilot briefing, community manager Jay Ingram has revealed that Motive have taken in a lot of the community feedback and requests. And based on the response the game has got since release, they're now going to add proper post-launch content. So what can I say, this is 100% real good news that not a lot of people expected. The first of which we'll be getting is the upcoming November update, which will come out this month on the 25th of November as part of Update 3.0. With it, there's gonna be additional fixes, balancing changes, and tuning. And while not officially a live service per se, keep in mind this is exactly what DICE did with their content updates for Battlefront 2's live service, which for the most part always dropped at the end of each month. So yeah, full details for this update will be provided in its release notes. But the highlights for it is the addition of a new map and components coming to the game. The map itself is none other than Foster Haven, a much requested map from the single-player campaign. It's going to be ported over to multiplayer and be available in both dogfight and fleet battles mode. And along with this, Squadrons will also get 4 new components added in too, which will be the following. So for fighters and bombers, you're going to be able to use the Boost Extension Kit, a new component that when used gives your starfighter a full boost. It'll then recharge over time, but can be used again in battle. Interceptors and fighters will also get a way to provide more assistance against capital ships and flagships by getting ion rockets. These ion rockets will be great for hit-and-run attacks to strip enemy shields and can be used at the same time as other components. Then bombers and fighters will also be receiving the prototype piercing torpedoes, providing these two ships with a new tactic for taking on capital ships. Keep in mind, they do have the ability to bypass capital ship and flagship shields, making them very well suited for striking down enemy flagship subsystems before shields have been taken down. And of course, we couldn't forget about the U-Wing and TIE Reaper, as they'll be getting a new way to support their allies when taking on enemy capital and flagships with the anti-material rocket turret. Though this turret doesn't target enemy starfighters, it's very well poised to take on flagship subsystems, capital ships, and even turrets of other deployables from enemy support ships. Now that's just the November update coming, because we also have December to look forward to as well, and that's looking to be a banger of an update. And this is because in the December update, Motive will be adding the highly requested B-Wing and TIE Defender to the game. These two starfighters are as powerful as they are iconic, though understandably will be balanced for the purposes of the game. The B-Wing will be categorized as a bomber-class starfighter, and the TIE Defender will be a fighter, each being able to use components relevant to their faction and class. But they'll also come with their own unique aspects in line and what you'd expect to see in them, such as the B-Wing with its gyro cockpit and swiveling wings and the TIE Defender with its shields. These functions and a couple of other unique components will help them differentiate themselves from the other starfighters in their classes and factions. But Motive also made sure they aren't outright better by default too. So there's still going to be good reasons to pick a Y-Wing over a B-Wing, or a TIE Fighter over a TIE Defender, and vice versa. It'll all depend on your playstyle and what the situation calls for. Last but not least is private matches, aka custom matches. Yeah, you heard right. Custom matches will allow 1 to 5 players per side across 2 teams to play on any of the now 7 maps in both dogfight and fleet battles. There's also going to be some additional restrictions and modifiers that you can change in custom matches, and these include things like hull, shield, damage modifiers, changing capital ship health, restricting certain starfighters, and other tools to help you change how you play. And along with this, there's going to be a custom matches server browser for you to search through private matches made by your friends as well as public ones made by strangers. So there you have it, new monthly content updates like a live service, the B-Wing, TIE Defender, private games, and even a server browser all coming to Squadrons this year. Which I gotta say feels so good to finally see this happening in the game. Really, it almost feels like if DICE were to come out and say that, hey, we're adding Ahsoka, Ventress, and private games to Battlefront 2. But, you know, unlike DICE, Motive actually do listen to their community, and this is the result of that. And of course, of all of these new things, I think it's safe to say that we should also be expecting to see new cosmetics and pilot customization within these new upcoming updates, especially since Motive did release a screenshot of a Pantoran wearing new Imperial gear. Nothing for nothing, but I'm fairly certain that we're going to be seeing a lot of that secret unreleased content I showed and talked about in my last video. And based on this, even more new stuff too, which is just exciting to think about. As for whether that's being included in the November or December update, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But until the next time, this will do it for your Squadrons update. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel to not only support it, but also keep up with Star Wars news, gaming, and canon lore released every week. And consider following me on Twitter and Facebook to never miss out on the latest Star Wars content. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.